Well, in the meantime, a new festival is set to be held at the end of October, virtually of course, to empower entrepreneurs with skills to survive and thrive post-COVID. The event is the brainchild of Crazy Domains, and CEO Mark Evans joins us now via Skype to take us through it. Hi, Mark.
Hi guys, how you doing? Great to be on the show.
Great to have you. Now, just start by telling us about Online Fest. What is it and what are you hoping to achieve?
So the Online Fest is something very new. It's supporting small business with their digital transformation and making it as easy as possible for SMBs to succeed online. Now, this is Crazy Domains' inaugural learning festival, a virtual conference, as you just mentioned, that will inspire, motivate and equip businesses, entrepreneurs, individuals in Australia and New Zealand to thrive in this new business landscape. And look, the Online Festival is all about giving back, supporting local business, helping them survive and navigate their way through this extremely tough climate that we find ourselves in. Look, this is not indifferent from the Australian fiscal policy trying to revive employment. We're trying to revive small business. And the reason we're doing that is we have exclusive data from a survey that we've done to SMBs that 40% of respondents were restricted from reaching their goals because of tech restraints. So we feel the Online Fest is extremely relevant right now.
So tell us a little bit more about who the event is designed for specifically. I mean, you did say it's the small businesses, but are we talking sort of the one-man bands that is just creating a startup, the scale-up, sort of who's it designed for?
No, good question. Look, Crazy Domains, we have over 2 million members in Australia. We've got great insights into SMBs, and 70% of our database is actually what we call small to medium business and micro business. And a lot of those, as you just mentioned, are sole traders, one-man bands. So there's a big majority of those. So realistically, it is for small business, micro business is where the target is, and that's exactly where the focus will be.
So you mentioned before that this year SMBs have really struggled to accelerate their digital transformation. What are the single biggest challenges that they're facing, and how are you guys going to help them overcome this through this learning as part of this festival?
Great question, Sam. Look, what we've seen in Australia and New Zealand is businesses have been forced to rethink their strategy, revisit their business plan, build in a BCP, a business continuity plan, to make sure they continue to operate through these turbulent times. And even though the physical doors may be closed, you can still be doing business online, and that's the all important thing. And we're not saying that every single business should be online, but where it makes sense for your business model, yes, you should definitely be online. And to tell you a story, going off track a little bit, that I've got mates and friends who are in business for themselves, or sole traders or tradies. They're still handing out business cards and a brochure, and they're the first ones to wonder why things have dried up, why they haven't got any work. And look, these days people are looking online. You need to be online, and that's what it's about. So what we're focusing on is helping them establish, build, maintain and grow an online presence. And it doesn't need to be expensive. It can start slowly. You can start with a domain name, so you get your own web address and even email hosting, but every time you're sending an email, you're branding yourself with a proper email address, a reputable email address, because I'm sure you've seen it yourselves, how many people are still using Gmail. I mean, it's not safe, it's not reputable, it's not credible, but there's still a lot of small business out there using it.
So talk us through the online festival. Who's presenting? How does it operate? Is it just going to be sort of a Zoom call with people listening into webinars, or is there a chance to break out?
Correct. Like, it's an online festival, as we talked about. It's virtual, dial in. It will be over 2 half days to make it a bit more flexible, which will be on the 28th and 29th of October. So people can attend to what they're interested in, and there will be an agenda up on the Crazy Domains site, but you will need to register. So register at crazydomains.com.au. we have some amazing guest speakers and keynote speakers. And I'll just mention a couple just to start off with. But Naomi Simpson, the founder of Red Balloon, and also a Shark Tank investor. Maxine Ryan, who's just launched her new Prosper app and featured on Bloomberg a couple of days ago, which I watched, which was amazing. And Jen George from Genry Capital, also a entrepreneur and moving to an executive role in the capital venture capital space, will be presenting as well. So we've got a wonderful lineup externally. We've got some internal talent that will be featuring as well to help these SMBs succeed online. So, and of course, it's free of charge.
Wow, look, it's a very impressive lineup there. Can you just talk through a little bit about what Crazy Domains has experienced in the crazy year of 2020? In general, we've seen technology companies doing pretty well. What kind of growth have you guys experienced throughout this period?
Yes, we are following global tech trends, and look, it was scary in the early days, mid-March when COVID hit. We saw an instant impact on business and business was down, but it only lasted about 2 weeks. So, towards the end of March, we started to see this influx, what I've named the COVID uptick. And, we're grateful and we're blessed that we're in an industry that has benefited from COVID-19. And what we've seen as Australia's #1 domain provider, we've seen this influx of 20% above normal standards of new registered .au domain names. And we haven't seen growth like that since 2010. So it just shows you the impact that it's had on SMBs realizing that they need to get online if they're not online. But what we've also seen is the existing customers that were online have been enhancing what they already have and spending more money in that space. So domains are seeing, 20% plus increase, as I just mentioned. But then we also have what we call the solutions pillar of our business, which has different products in there, from do-it-yourself website builder, or we can do it for you, what we call DIFY, Diffy. We also have managed SEO to help your optimization and your rankings. We also have some marketing products, business directory. We've seen a 40% increase in that pillar of the business, which is phenomenal. And we haven't seen growth like that in the solutions pillar at all. So what we're seeing is more motivation, more urgency, more acceleration, and more importantly, and most importantly, more trust to commence that digital transformation journey and to get their business online.
And you're also operating in Singapore. Did you see similar kind of trends happening there too?
Yes, look, we do operate in Singapore. We're also the #1 provider in Singapore, and it was a little bit different. It did hit us a bit earlier on. It started in January in Singapore, and it didn't have much of an impact, but then the second wave, what we called it in Singapore, did hit hard. And we've seen a lot of small business go out of business completely. It was around 8,000 businesses a month were actually closing their doors. So it actually has been a little bit different. It's a flip side to Australia. It is slowly and steadily coming back, but we're not at normal growth levels, and certainly not at the growth levels of Australia.
And Mark, before we let you go, you mentioned that Online Fest is free. Where can companies go to sign up, and what are the dates there again?
So October 28 and 29, so later this month, 2 half days. Go to the Crazy Domains site, crazydomains.com.au, to register. So very simple process, and then people can come and go as they please, very flexible. And there will be an agenda of speakers and topics that we'll be focusing on, so it's relevant to what they're interested in.
Okay, great, Mark. It sounds like an excellent initiative, and we wish you all the best with it. Thanks so much for joining us today with the update.
Thank you for having me.